What's up, everybody? Welcome to I don't know if it's Talk Wrestling, because I am going to get questions from you guys eventually, but we'll call it the Jeff Meacham Show, because that's what I used to call my old show on the Casa channel when I did a live show by myself. The Jeff Meacham Show, here live at College of the Canyons here in sunny, and I do mean sunny, Santa Clarita, California. It is warm today, I tell you. Got class at 2 o'clock, which is right now it's about 10 after 12, I believe, West Coast time. East Coast time. Yeah, I'm not East Coast yet. Not until January, hopefully. What is everybody up to today? Any questions for hello from Calgary? Calgary, Alberta, Canada, as Lance Storm would say, if he can be serious for a moment. I'm going to try the live thing today. We'll see how it goes. I know I told you guys 12:30, but I'm bored. Honestly and truthfully, I'm very bored right now. School class doesn't start till 2. I've got an hour and a half plus to kill, and I only have one Pepsi. Good luck on your econ quiz, sir. Econ is a bitch of a subject, let me tell you. I took it in high school, my senior year. The last class I ever took in high school was my economics class. I took government in the fall during the Gore Bush election. I couldn't vote for it, but I got to study it, which was like a circus. And I'm studying it again. I'm actually taking political science right now, and studying this nonsense between Donald J. Trump and Hillary Clinton. Yeah. There's never really a way to properly teach econ in school. They just kind of throw shit off the top of their head, honestly. And I'm sorry for swearing. I'm just seeing it on YouTube later, I'm sure. Aaron will post this. So, yeah, I don't know really what to do with econ. I didn't like it. I liked the teacher. The teacher was funny. He made fun of the Police song Roxanne on numerous bases. Numerous times he made fun of that song. He come in, Roxanne, and just, get us all going. You don't have to put on a red light. Anyway. Jeff singing, it can't be good. If WWE buys TNA, who can you see them keep? Nobody. They are not going to keep a soul. They may re-sign people to different contracts than not under the TNA, the WWE umbrella. But if I'm Vince McMahon and Triple H and Stephanie and all of them in the office, I am buying the video library. I am taking that library and just putting it on the network, and people go, this is what we missed? When we were loyal to you? I can't believe it. Not even that. Well, see, Iggy, I'm not a fan of the whole broken Matt, broken brother Nero thing. I'm not a fan, and that puts me in the minority, and that's just the way it's going to be. I have not been a fan of the Hardys since they left WWE. I'm being honest. I've not liked anything really TNA in many, many years. I think what really drove me away from TNA was the way they handled the departure of AJ Styles. I thought that was grossly underappreciated, and they let him get away, and look where he is now. He is on top of the WWE mountain as far as the SmackDown brand is concerned. And like I pointed out on Twitter, thanks to information from the Ric Flair show, one of only 3 men to hold the NWA WWE championships, along with Buddy Rogers and Ric Flair. Lastly, Lesnar would be intriguing, Iggy, but I don't know if I want to see it. K-Live failed. Do you think Nikki will ever become the champion again, or get the championship again? It's a very distinct possibility. She's healthy, she's young, and she's got the look. Everybody either loves or hates the Bella Twins, especially Nikki. They either love her or they hate her. And she's got a following like nobody except for like the 4 Horsewomen, Natty, and a couple others. But Nikki Bella is one of the most popular female superstars WWE has, and it's a matter of time before she's champion on the SmackDown brand, or on the Raw brand. She jumps over there. What show will Nakamura go to? I would like him to stick around NXT for a while. I think they need some serious star power with Balor gone, and Owens and Zayn, and let them build the NXT brand around Nakamura and Rude and Aries, and bring back James Storm. Hell, make it TNA version 2. Let that be the way they buy TNA. Just pick all their talent off. Bring in Daniels and Frankie from Ring of Honor. Hell, why not? They won't do that because Daniels and Frankie are having a good time in Ring of Honor as the Addiction World Tag Team Champions of the world, baby. Absolutely. Let's see. While I wait for a question, let me ask you guys something. My son is joined the Cub Scouts. This is a little Cub Scout. I'm reading over the handbook. I'm reading through the safety stuff right now with him. Were any of you guys Cub Scouts when you were kids, or Boy Scouts now, or Boy Scouts before, Eagle Scouts, however old you guys are? Pros and cons. What do you guys think? Girl Scout? Okay, yeah, I had a cousin that was a Girl Scout. I think Dylan's mom was a Girl Scout, but I don't know if she was with a disability. I'm not sure if she was or not. I don't remember if she told me. That's awful. I was with her for 11 years. That's bad. Yikes. I don't know. Well, I've known her for 11 years. I haven't been with her for 11 years. I'm going to get in trouble with this broadcast. I'm in deep shit. Yeah. It seems that he needs structure. He's very jumbled up here and in here. And I'm hoping that Cub Scouts will set him on the right path. They teach a lot of good values. I've been reading the book backwards and forwards. I'm just making shake the hell out of the camera. By the way, today's show is brought to you by, not really, but I'm wearing their shirt. So Paradise Kitty at Paradise Kitty _ on Twitter. Paradise Kitty _ is the Twitter handle. They have a show tonight at Lucky Strike in Los Angeles, and for the pre-Monsters of Rock Cruise party. So go check them out tonight. Tell them Jeff sent you, especially Jenna. Love you, Jenna. Bret Hart's comments on Seth Rollins. Justified yet unnecessary. And what I mean by that is, we all can tell that Seth Rollins has a very aggressive, dare I say reckless style, but do we really need to have Bret Hart chiming in? I mean, Bret has been retired for a longer period of time than Seth Rollins, I think, has even been in the business. If you talk about full-time retirement, Bret Hart retired in 1999. He was fired from WCW in 2000. So I think Seth was just getting into the business then, even maybe after that. So for somebody that's been out of the full-time loop that long, granted, he has a unique perspective. He's Bret the Hitman Hart. But I feel that him chiming in would be like, Hogan chiming in, and, Flair chiming in, and, it's like, it's not as bad as me chiming in. Personally, I think that the people are way too hard on Seth Rollins. I think he's got a hell of a lot of talent. Is he injury prone right now? Clearly. But he is easily the top worker on Monday Night Raw right now. Yes, even more so than the Kevin Owens show. Yes, even more so than Chris Jericho. Yes, even more so than Sami Zayn. I think Seth Rollins is the guy on Raw, and he should be the guy on Raw. He's been the guy in WWE for over 2 years. And the only reason he wasn't the guy full-time those 2 years is because he got that really bad injury. It's just a complete freak accident. You've all seen the video of the match with Kane. Total fluke thing. But I'm not a fan of what Bret Hart said. I understand why he said it. He felt he needed to say it. But there was no need for him to say it, if that makes any sense. We got 6 people watching right now. Where's everybody at? What time is it? I don't know what time it is. I can't tell. There's no clock on this Periscope thing. Okay, we'll just keep going. When I hear the chimes for 1:30, I'll stop. Do I think CM Punk will accept a Hall of Fame induction one day? I don't know. He made it pretty clear he was not interested in coming back for any reason whatsoever. That they burned that bridge with him by the way they treated him medically and mentally. I'd like to see it. Dan, Lord knows he deserves it, especially if WWE wants to consider themselves the Wrestling Hall of Fame. His legacy is very important to him, as you said, Iggy. And he built Ring of Honor as much as Samoa Joe or Bryan Danielson or any of those guys did. You know, he helped shape what Ring of Honor was as world champion, and that storyline led to the 2011 storyline he had in WWE. You know, it's a very similar layout of storylines. Punk definitely is a Hall of Fame WWE superstar. Will he come back to accept? I'd like to think so, but let's see how his UFC career goes first. Money talks, and bruises don't heal so easily anymore, physically or emotionally. But then again, there's talk of bringing Hulk Hogan back, so time does heal all wounds, apparently. And, so I got my King's hat on today. Found my King's hat. I was looking for it all summer. Could not find this hat or this pin in 5 months. Losing my damn mind. Could not find it frickin' anywhere. And then I had a gut feeling to hop on a chair and clear a bunch of hats out of the way, and sure enough, there it was, hidden back there, because I had taken off after the last game and just kind of chucked it up there. There's my bald head for everybody to see. And there it was. So there you go. I imagine his ego was very bruised, yes, and I'm sure it still is. Am I excited for No Mercy? I don't know the card off the top of my head. As I sit here with no internet looking at the card, I know it's AJ and Ambrose and Cena, which should be interesting. The questions I've been getting all week on Twitter is, are they going to turn Cena heel? There is no need to turn John Cena heel. We have all been begging for it for 10 years. Literally 10 years, if you think about it. He first started getting the boos against Triple H, really getting the boos against Triple H at WrestleMania in 2006, and since then it's just been, please, John, please. And why? John does not need to be a bad guy. His demeanor, his attitude that he's presenting right now as he challenges for the championship is just edgy enough where it's not quite heel, but it's not exactly goody two-shoes babyface either, really, if you think about it. I'm looking forward to Alexa and Becky. I'm looking forward to that match because I love Alexa Bliss. I've loved her from NXT from the start, even when she was a little, pixie princess. She was awesome. The Kings have potential. I saw their training camp team last night at Staples Center against the Anaheim Schmucks, and who was also in their training camp team because half their team's in Toronto. So a lot of our teams in Toronto right now at the World Cup of Hockey. Either way, the Kings win because Drew Doughty's on Team Canada along with Jake Muzzin, and Ante Kopitar is still on the team for Team Europe. Gabrick got hurt. I guess he broke his foot. So either way, the Kings win. Whoever wins that tournament. But the Kings have potential to go far. My Kings, they had a rough playoff last year. They finished second in the division last year, and they could have gone farther. They just stepped on their own dick in the first round. As simple as that. We all hate the Ducks. Hating the Ducks is a universal thing. There's no question about that. I'm not a fan of Canadian teams in general because that's just the way I was brought up. But Calgary poses no threat to me. They're not in my division, so I don't give a shit. Oh wait, no. Are they in the Pacific? Let's see. Vancouver, Anaheim, San Jose, Kings, Arizona. Vancouver, San Jose, Anaheim, Kings, Arizona. I thought Calgary and Edmonton were in a division apart from the Kings. Are Calgary and Edmonton both in the Pacific Division? I could have sworn. Oh, okay. Well, they'll pose a real threat. The Calgary. No, I'm kidding. The Kings are forever a contender now. As long as they keep the core intact, I mean Kopitar and Brown when he has his head out of his butt, Quick, and guys like Matt Green and Jeff Carter, and Dewey and the core group, as long as they keep those guys healthy and vital, then they'll be in good shape for the 2016-17 season. I'm actually, a week from tomorrow, going to be heading for the new T-Mobile Arena up in Sin City, Las Vegas, because the Kings are playing their 2 final home games as part of Frozen Fury. This is the last time the Kings are going to be the home team up at T-Mobile. The first time at T-Mobile, but the only time they're going to be the home team at T-Mobile, because Vegas is getting their own hockey team. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, granted, they'll be in our division, which means more competition. And the road trips won't be that bad for most of the division, except for the Calgary and Edmonton legs. But, you know, it should be interesting to see how the division shapes out once the team has formed and expanded the league. Yeah, the Hawks, I've got so many friends from Chicago. I've got my boy Lee, who hosted XMV with me all those years. My dear departed Sweet Maggie, who I think about every time I see the Hawks on TV, or I hear about CM Punk, or see Chicago and WTV in general. I think of her, and it's so funny. I went to my Amazon box recently and cleared out what I had saved her. I had saved 3 Stanley Cup championship hats to buy her when I started getting my paychecks from the other job I have, and never got to buy them. So maybe I'll buy them for Lee. But I cleared them out, so I'll have to find them again if I ever want to buy it for him. I don't know what he has. I'm sure he has championship hats already. I don't have a lot of questions. I'm just talking. I'm babbling here. I don't know what time it is. I haven't heard a chime. So it's probably not 12:30 yet, which means I haven't officially started when you guys wanted me, where you were expecting me to start. I'm just kind of rambling on here. Let's see. It's clobbering time. Yeah. I actually had that song on Spotify, but I can't play that song and do the video at the same time. It's like very frustrating. I can have a computer right here. As you can see, the computer's here, and my son's scrapbook. Can you see that? Did I do that right? There we go. There it is. And but I want to take the computer out because then it drains the battery, and my computer is having a horrible time battery. I'm having a very hard time with technology. This is a brand new phone. This is the second time I've used this phone for a wrestling video. I used it last week to tape Talk Wrestling, and I've used it to do the recent collaborations with Aaron and No DQ. But I'm liking the phone. It's working out. It's the iPhone SE. And I got it like the day before the 7 came out, and I wasn't offered the 7 as an upgrade, so the SE is pretty much just like the 5S or the 5 and the 6. It's not that much different. It still fits in my Hulkamania phone case, so that's a plus, right? And it's been extra money. Although I'm thinking of replacing the Hulkamania phone case with a Joker phone case, like the Killing Joker. I saw one on some website that had like half of the crazy Joker when he comes out of the vat of chemicals, the other half of him taking the picture from the cover. That'd be cool. When is Paige returning? When she's cleared. I did not know until I read the reports on No DQ and other websites that she's not medically cleared yet. She's still dealing with the injuries. This is why she's set out in the first place. Yeah, she was suspended, but she was also taking time off to heal, and she's not quite healed yet. She's been backstage at Raw, but she's not cleared to go. I think Paul Heyman has worn out his own welcome inside his own head, if that makes any sense, of doing creative. Especially with WWE. He tried that, and it worked well on SmackDown. He tried being the soul ship on ECW under Vince McMahon's guiding light, and it failed miserably. He ended up going home for 6 years. So if I was Paul Heyman, thinking to myself, I have a ton of money, I have a great friendship with Brock, I have a talent contract anytime I want it to manage Brock on TV and at house shows, why do I want to get myself in the office every week? That would be a very foolhardy decision on Paul Heyman's behalf if I'm Paul Heyman sitting here going, probably not. I'd like to see some more creative input from somebody, whether it be Heyman or not. you would be surprised how much Vince McMahon has abdicated power of creative to Triple H and Stephanie, and more so Triple H now. Triple H is writing a lot more of the TV than we give him credit, doing a lot more of the TV than we give him credit for. It's not any better with him at the helm. NXT is, and the Cruiserweight Classic was. But the basic shows, Raw and SmackDown, are still fighting upstream to garner their viewership back, and that's going to be a problem for a while going forward, I think. If you're uncomfortable with no back support, I'm just got relief from chiropractor, and I can go back to normal stuff, and I'm sitting here with no back support for however long I've been sitting here. Sorry, Dr. Eddie. Yikes. I know what time it is, but I've not heard a chime, so I don't think it's 12:30. Can somebody tell me out there what time it is on their neck of the woods and what neck of the woods you're in, so I can... Oh, there we go. There's the chime. Hang on a second. It's now 12:30. Michigan 3-3. Yeah, it's 12:30 here. Thank you. Thank you, darling. Girl Scouts. Thank you to the Girl Scouts. 12:30. So we're officially on now. We've been talking for a while now. We're officially on. I'm going to try to go till at least 1. Right now, I'm in a political science class, Introduction to American Politics and Government. I basically took this class. My brother came to me with the idea of going back to school himself, and he wanted to take some general education classes for his degree, and it kind of got the hamster moving in the old ginger brain here a little bit, and decided, I'm going to take a class too. Hell with it. Let's get the degree going. So I looked at the different courses they had available for the fall, and I decided, I'm going to take political science. It's the crazy selection in American history, or at least American media coverage history. More so than the Gore Bush, more so than Obama and anything. And it's a complete cluster out there in American politics right now. So what better time to take an introduction to American government and politics than during this shenanigans of an election? I think I'm having a great time with the professor so far. If you ever come to College of the Canyons and take political science, Dr. Deems Morioni is the guy to go to. He teaches my class, and he is awesome. I highly recommend him to anybody who would want to take political science here at College of the Canyons. It's awesome. And he's a hell of a lot of fun. He minces no words. He pulls no punches. He is brazen. He is opinionated, and I love every minute of it. Perfect teacher for Jeff Meacham, right? Doesn't mince words. I'm contemplating popping the soda. What do you think? Not that I'm tired, I'm just want some drink, and it's wet, and I don't have water. I'll get water, because water's better for you kids. If you're out there looking for a role model, drink plenty of water. Don't drink what Jeff drinks. Soda's bad for you. Whoops. I'm putting this down for a second. Don't mind me. There's my hand. Alright, there we go. If I burp, I'm sorry. If Trump wins, yeah, thank you. People keep saying they're going to move. I've said it more than once that I'm out of here. Who am I voting for? Ooh, loaded question. I don't know. I know I'm not voting for Donald Trump. That goes without saying. I will never vote Donald Trump in anything except maybe a WWE Hall of Fame. If I was a WWE Hall of Fame committee, I would vote him in the Hall of Fame, and he already got it. So I'll have to vote. I'll have to make that vote. I will never cast a vote for him. What step match do you think they would actually do for women? I would love to see the women do a cage match again. Trish and Victoria did it, I believe. No, Victoria and Lita. Somebody. Lita and somebody, I think. Anyway, I forget. I'm sorry. The women's guy's not knowing that stuff. No, you know what this is? This is my Game 6. We won the cup that night. We bought this hat at the game. And for the next year plus that I was in Long Beach, living down there still with the Casa de Teen Studios, other than sleeping, and every time it was in sometimes, and showering, I was wearing this hat. This became my lucky hat. And this right here that goes with it is my Ace and Mark pin for Ace Bailey and Mark Bavis, who were King's Scouts that died on, I believe it was Flight 93. It may have been I think it was one of the planes that hit the towers on 9/11. So I keep this hat with me whenever I have it, that is, and my pin with me at all times. Women's ladder match would not be out of a possibility. I can definitely see, any of the women right now on the roster pulling off a great ladder match, and that includes the NXT girls. It would be a awesome, awesome, awesome sight to see two women go in a ladder match. Tables match, I don't want to see that. I think tables matches are so played out. I think they have no place in wrestling anymore, period. And I think the retirement of the Dudleys can be the end of the tables matches, women or men. Somebody just missed the bus. That's so sad. He could have caught it if he just ran faster. Says the fat guy, right? Drinking a Pepsi. They do need to replenish, but you know what? They've got Billie Kay, they've got Peyton Royce, they've got Liv Morgan, they've got Asuka, they've got what's they got? Tessa Blanchard when she's there, Santana Garrett when she's there. Pepsi is better than Coke, absolutely, Alex. Cheers to, here, wait, let me plug in for Pepsi, even though they won't sponsor my ass. There you go. Go Pepsi. The NXT Women's Division has definitely suffered the loss of the Four Horsewomen. And look where those four girls are now. See, that is tantamount to Triple H's creative genius in that respect, because he built the division around those four. Excuse me. Sorry for the burp, y'all. And now if you look at the NXT, the WWE women's rosters on both shows, SmackDown is built around Becky Lynch and her challenger, and the Raw side is the other three. So Gail Kim would be a tremendous asset to NXT and WWE if she were to return to the fold. Somebody mentioned earlier about picking up TNA contracts. I would call Gail Kim tonight and say, once your Hall of Fame obligations are clear, come home, coach these girls. We have Sarah, and Sarah is fantastic, but we could definitely use your expertise. And if you want to get back in the ring, we ain't going to stop you. It's something to see Gail Kim in WWE, NXT especially. Can you imagine Gail Kim versus Asuka? Oh my God. Oh my God. Awesome. 5 people. Where is everybody? It's 12:30. Alright, anyway, come on, go away. No, back down. Back down. There we go. I'm sorry, I haven't done Periscope in a long time, so sorry if I get all jumbly. Well, if we don't get more people, I'm not going to stick around. I was expecting questions after question after question. Christy Hemme, whatever her name is, the hottest ring announcer, still with TNA. I don't think she is. I think they parted ways. But I've also heard that she's doing women creative. So I don't know where she stands. I know she's not on TV anymore. They have Borash doing that. My favorite pay-per-view this year? What was the one with the Shield Triple Threat? Battleground? That was good. Mania was alright. Mania got a lot of flack, but it was alright. SummerSlam was better than I thought it was going to be. I like parts of Backlash. Oh, for including NXT, golly. NXT, any of the takeovers have been the best pay-per-view this year. I thought we were just talking about WWE. Yeah, the NXT takeover shows have been consistently good since they started. They've been my favorite shows of the year, all of those shows. My back really hurts. I can't sit like this anymore. This is going to be a short broadcast, and I feel bad. But I can't sit like this very long with my fat ass. Yeah, TakeOver Dallas was good. Asuka Bailey was really good that night. Nakamura and Zayn was unbelievable that night. You know, people ask me who I think the MVP of WWE is this year, and people are saying, well, AJ's had a great match with everybody. So is Sami Zayn. And Aaron and I talked about Sami Zayn on the last collaboration we did, and we've seen him, you know, there's a song on country music, From the Ground Up. We've seen Sami Zayn come from the ground up. We've seen him in El Generico in PWG and in Ring of Honor and other promotions here in Southern California, and he has always been good, but he just gets better as his WWE career blossoms. And he could do without injuries, no question. But have I worked in the biz? Yes, I did. Other than the no DQ career that has gone on now for, if you can believe this, 14 years, guys, that I've worked with Aaron Rift, off and on, mostly on. Between 2007 and the end of 2010, I was involved in some form or another. I worked with a guy by the name of Gary Yap, who ran a promotion called Epic Pro Wrestling War. I was on his... I was one of his managers. I was his co-manager. I managed Teddy Hart for a few matches with him and the champion Marcus Riot, and I managed against the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who used to be good friends of mine at one point. We haven't talked in a long time. I worked with another, through Gary, I worked with the NWA briefly for High Des Championship Wrestling. I was the co-creative director of that company and of World Independent Ladies Division with a guy by the name of Travis Leland. With Wild, we had people like Ashley Mazzaro and Kat Waters, Winter, Katie Lee, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, she was our champion. She actually still is our champion. We haven't had a title defense in about 5 years, but she still is the reigning Wild champion as I sit here. We had a lot of good talent come through, and my greatest memory of wrestling was when I went back to work with Gary, and they put me with his business partner, Anthony Maris, in a stable called High Society. And in that stable was a little sub-stable that had started a different company called the Original Legacy, before Randy Orton even thought of the word, with Cody and Ted, and later the other guys later. We had Rick Ellis, Devin Sparks, and Jameson Stafford, and I was their manager at Epic with Gary. I also managed Jason Strife and Tim Donst briefly during that period, and I have never felt more creatively alive as a performer outside No DQ than I was doing with that society. And unfortunately, I took a blow to the ribs and bitched about it way too much and cried and whined way too much and lost my job. And it's simple as that. And I was a big crybaby about it. I was a little chicken shit about it, and I lost my job. And I regret it. And I love that Gary was able to come back into the business as his manager. And I won't say the Man in Black, because that's what Empire Wrestling Federation called him, but his name was simply him, or he. You actually see the guy on TV every week now, and I'll let you figure out who it is. Go look up Gary Yap and the Empire Wrestling Federation, and you can figure out who it is, if you want to. But seeing Gary and that guy do the things they did the last year and a half have been unbelievable. I'm so happy for Gary, and Gary was so happy when his guy achieved mainstream success here recently, and it was awesome. Why did Teddy Hart never work? Teddy is one of those guys, and I'm going to say something that's going to get me in a lot of trouble here, but Teddy is one of those guys that is his own worst enemy. And I don't know if he still is. At that point in his life, he was. When he was trying out for WWE, had a developmental contract, he had some serious demons and serious issues that he could not work out on his own without help. And he is an unfortunate... It's almost cliche to say the legacy of the Hart curse, but you know, his Uncle Brad and his Uncle Owen and his Uncle Jim and you know all those guys, you know, the guy had potential through the roof, and he just could not. At that point, I don't know what he's doing now. I hope he's doing well wherever he's doing now. And to be fair to Teddy, at the time that I managed him in Epic War, he had really gotten himself together. So it could be that, hello, it could be that he has gotten himself together. And he had at that point. I hope that whatever he's doing, he's happy. If he's still doing shows up in Canada and Calgary, then that's great. I would love to see him and share a drink or whatever he likes to share now, and I don't know. But he was awesome. But like I said, my favorite talents to manage were Legacy, Ellis, Sparks, and Stafford. Ellis especially. Rick is one of those guys. Rick Ellis is one of those guys where he's a genuinely nice guy, and I think it was awesome. Do I think GFW is done? Did it ever get started? I mean, let's be real. I don't see a future for that company. I don't see a future for any company trying to go beyond their means. TNA made a go of it and lasted 14 years. And now they're on the chopping block. WCW made a go of it for 14 years. And they were on the chopping block. And they got bought. ECW made a go of it nationally for 4 years. And they lost. GFW tried. You say TNA tried hard to be WWE Junior. GFW tried hard to be TNA Junior. Especially with the boss. So I think I would love to see somebody step up with an infinite bank supply and challenge McMahon. But it doesn't matter how much of this you have. You gotta have this for wrestling and for sports entertainment. If you don't have in mind for sports entertainment, you have zero business starting a wrestling company. Period. Lucha Underground is a great example of all the money, none of the brain. Their in-ring work is unbelievable. Their stuff is great. But their creative side, their storylines are hokey Mexican soap operas. They're ludicrous. I can't stand that stuff. TNA did waste way too much money on bringing Hogan and Bischoff in, and bringing in Flair, and Flair has said that he regrets going to TNA. He said it on his own podcast. I'm sure if Hogan had a podcast, he would say the same thing, because that put a huge dark cloud on his career. I dare say more so than even this recent scandal. And that's a huge statement to make. It's controversial to say, but it is. Yeah, Lucha is very much a wrestling movie, and it's like I don't turn on professional wrestling, sports entertainment to watch a movie. If I'm going to watch a movie with the wrestler, I'll go watch, The Chaperone or the Marine or some shit. I don't know if he overpaid Sting. I think Sting earned his money. Sting helped build that brand. You gotta give Sting and AJ and those guys severe credit for building an Angle now for building the brand of TNA. I was talking about Hulk earlier about being blacklisted, and it could be turning the corner. Yeah, Sting was older than most guys at TNA, but you know what? Sting had to, quote, retire in 2001 at a time where he was still pretty viable. And he made a huge... He did pretty good in TNA the last few years. That match with Jeff Hardy, that wasn't his fault, though. But, you know, he had some poor matches, but he had some great matches, too. Warm soda, trying to do a talk show. Not a good idea. He does. I saw he talked about it with JBL on Legends. Thing is, neither one of them are 2009 healthy. If they had got the deal done during the Shawn Undertaker thing, it would have been huge. But it never happened. And now it's not going to happen because Sting, you know, with the buckle bomb and the neck and everything he's done, Undertaker was out of it. Sting, you know what? But Sting was a healthy, viable 50. And Undertaker was a healthy, viable late 40s. So, it would have worked. I think it would have done huge business. That's not to say that Shawn Undertaker didn't do huge, but Shawn Undertaker was the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And no, Sting doesn't need the title. Sting never needed the WWE Championship at the time that he came over. By the time he came to WWE, he was a nostalgia act looking for one last brief little blip and to say that I worked for WWE. I wrestled at WrestleMania. I competed for the WWE Championship. Similar to AJ now, except AJ's still young. And he's a world champion. Agreed, the recognition of him being WWE champion would have been sweet, but, you know, you gotta understand something. Sting was to WCW what AJ was to TNA. And the difference is, WCW was a legitimate threat to WWE, and I honestly, truthfully in my gut, don't think that Vince McMahon would have ever put the WWE Championship on Sting. Even when he came over recently. Because it would have been an admission that he was wrong in not bringing him in sooner. And not trying harder to get him. And AJ, you know, TNA was never a competition. They were never going to be a competition for them. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how to do the purple ropes. You guys just explained it together on the duct tape thing, so that better answer than I could give, because I have no freaking clue how they do that so fast. Madness. Yeah, I don't see any need to change the ropes. I mean, I get they're trying to make the Cruiserweights look distinct and unique, and that's fine. But to waste time, you know, valuable, especially for live TV now, especially for live TV, do they really want to waste, you know, what the hell is that? A big old bug just, sorry. I'm attacked by a killer moth. I'm in a monster movie. Jeez. All right. You know, I'm going to wrap it. Let's see. Do you think Russo was the worst thing? Wow. I get this question so much that I almost glaze over it. But I will answer it. Russo was not the worst thing that happened to WCW. The worst thing that happened to WCW. That's like, don't be sorry. I'm just being an asshole. The worst thing that happened to WCW was the buyout by Time Warner, and then the merger with AOL. Had Ted Turner remained Ted Turner, with all his millions of dollars, still in direct control of WCW, with Bischoff and whoever running, and obviously underneath him, without Gerald Levin, without the AOL people overseeing the books and overseeing all the shit they didn't want to see and oversee, let's be honest, they'd still be around today. They would have lost a ton of money. They would have. I'm going to stand up. But, well, keep in mind that Time Warner is no longer Time Warner itself. It's now Spectrum. They merged with Charter and got bought out by Charter. So anybody that's on Time Warner Cable right now, you're going to be on Spectrum pretty soon, if you're not already. It started with the whole Dodgers network that Charter wanted a piece of that, and Time Warner wouldn't give it to them, so they went to a litigation or whatever, and then ended up Charter bought Time Warner and became Spectrum. So now they're a huge media conglomerate also between Charter and Time Warner. You know, AOL is Time Warner's still around in name. They have like the Warner Library that's under the Time Warner banner and all that, but you know, it's not going to be the same. Hopefully the service gets better. Ding, ding, ding. Spectrum, that's you guys. My cable box sucks. I still can't watch BBC America properly, you assholes. But yeah, as far as Russo and TNA, the worst thing to happen to TNA was thinking that Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff would save the company. And that's a hard thing for this Hulkamaniac to say, but it's true. Hogan was never going to save TNA. Hogan was going to do what Hogan does best, and that's save his own ass. And whatever money he made on TNA's dime was just, you know, part and parcel. Disney will never operate a wrestling company, and I'll tell you why. Disney is too family friendly. There's a reason that ABC and the ABC networks didn't go after ECW when they were on the chopping block. There's a reason that WWE and the other companies don't negotiate with wrestling, ABC, because they don't want to deal with it. All right, 2 questions there. Do I think Bray Wyatt can still be saved? It's going to take a lot of effort, but yeah, he there's still a chance with him. And Hogan Knows Best didn't start the divorce or cause the divorce. The divorce was already in the process. Let me, if you haven't read Hulk Hogan's real book and not the WWE one with the black cover with the pose and everything, I'm talking the white cover with the generic Hulk pose. The divorce was caused by a lack of communication for many years between Hulk and Linda. And part of it was Linda, at least, now remember, this is Hulk's view. I'm going off what I read in Terry's book. And that is, Linda was very neglectful of her children and very neglectful of her marriage. And she often would tell Hulk in bed that she hated him and that hope he died, and the whole nine. It was very, very ugly relationship. And then being in the public eye only exacerbated the issue. It didn't cause the issue, but it didn't help either, if that makes sense. And Linda finding out about the affair after she filed for divorce didn't help either. And no, the affair wasn't with his current wife. The affair was with a lady who had befriended Linda and Brooke during Brooke's music career. And they kind of got to talking, and they got to drinking wine, and then shit got real. A few times. I do feel bad for Hulk Hogan. Every time I have to defend him, I feel bad for me. But I think he's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time the last 7 years. Six and a half. Just one bad thing after another. I think had he not gone to TNA, I think he would have been okay. I think he could have saved. And, I mean, yeah, he came back to WWE, and he was doing good there for a little while, and then he got in trouble last year. And, but again, who in the hell compared Hogan to Donald Trump? Send me that guy. Send me a tweet, not on here. Send me a tweet with that guy's Twitter handle, because I'm gonna rip that guy a new one. Let me do the comparison right now. Hulk Hogan is a public hero. Hulk Hogan is a guy who has made some mistakes and atoned for them more often than not. Bye. Have a good one. Hogan made mistakes and atoned for them. Donald Trump refuses to admit he makes mistakes. Did you guys see the debate on Sunday? His camp is saying he won that debate. Ooh, I wouldn't call him Hitler. That's a bit extreme. Okay, he's not killing people. He just wants to build a wall. Keep them out. He wants to keep people away. He doesn't want to kill you. He just wants to keep them away. That's a very dangerous comparison. Be careful. Good thing this isn't on public comment. Yeah, Trump... Hillary kicked his ass on Sunday. Or Monday, whatever it was. Whatever the debate was. Monday. It was awesome. He will cause a war. If he becomes president of the United States, we will be in war. We will be in war before his 4 years are up. With some country that we shouldn't be at war with for some stupid reason that he causes. Again, I wouldn't compare him to Adolf Hitler. Hitler was an evil person. You can even call him a person. He persecuted people to the point of extinction. Not just keeping them away, but he wanted to murder people on purpose. He purposely wanted to exterminate an entire race of people. That's just evil. I wouldn't call Donald Trump evil. I just think he's a big old idiot. And I think that he got his, Hitler was way worse than Trump. Like I said, Hitler was a mass murderer. Donald Trump is just clueless and shouldn't be running for anywhere near public office, let alone the presidency of the United States of America. He is. Trump's an idiot. All right, on that note, I'm going to bail because it looks like my Wi-Fi didn't connect. I'm using data this whole time, which means I'm going to get some serious shit. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you all next time. Hopefully next week we'll have Talk Wrestling After the Bell in the studio. This week got crazy because I had my son's 2 soccer practices, his first Cub Scout Den meeting, and school 2 days a week here. So if I can get into the No DQ studio, then I will be there. If not, we will see you guys soon, and talk to y'all next time.